Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. Today I wanted to talk about champion reworks, because with the Galio rework coming out relatively soon, we're down to very few champions that actually need to have a rework. If you think about it, back in the day when I first started playing in Season 2, there were a lot of champions that were just troll tier champions. If you played them, you were actually not trying to win the game. But now if you look around the league, there are very few champions like that left. I think the only ones that really exist are Urgot and Evelyn, and both of those champions are actually being looked at by Champ Up right now and getting reworked to a point where they'll no longer be troll champions. And at that point, pretty much everyone in the league might be underpowered, but no one is so badly designed that they're actually terrible to play. So that kind of leaves us in a weird spot, because now it's sort of a question of who's next on the rework list. Who actually should Riot be prioritizing? Who should Champ Up be looking at? Because they will keep reworking champions. We do have a lot of older champions, or champions with outdated kits, or champions that just need some visual updates. And Reeve actually talked about this a little bit. I won't run down his full list, but he did have a small list of champions that they were kind of considering for the next reworks and what they would be looking at going forward. So I wanted to talk today about which champions I would like to see get prioritized for reworks, and kind of talk about why that is. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Number one is going to be Mordekaiser. I love Mordekaiser. I played Mordekaiser way back in the day. He was the second champion I ever unlocked. I really like his theme. I really liked his kit. I think he was a great champion. And then the Juggernaut rework happened, and Riot kind of ruined Mordekaiser. They didn't address any of his issues. They put a bunch of random things on his kit to try and help solve his design problems, and really the problem was that the rework was too low scope for it to really fix Mordekaiser's problems or do him justice. It was supposed to just get him in a better place, and instead all it really did is make all the Mordekaiser players, myself included, really, really sad. So I would like to see him prioritize as a rework, because Riot have admitted that the Juggernaut rework was a bit of a flop for most of the characters on it, and Mordekaiser's rework especially was a giant flop. And he's also a really, really unappealing visual champion. He's actually the last champion we have who still has pizza feet. So I would love to see Mordekaiser prioritized for a rework, and really I would like to see him revert back to solo lanes. I think the duo lane experiment was a nice idea and a good way to kind of solve his problems, but at the same time I feel like it's too much of a departure from the playstyle that most Mordekaiser players really want, and I would like to see him put back in the top lane and mid lane as a Juggernaut like he's supposed to be. He also definitely, though, needs a more interactive play pattern. Right now, a lot of Mordekaiser's damage is targeted or very difficult to avoid, and in fact, he can kind of just spam E on you in lane and do a bunch of damage and force you out really, really easily, while also taking no damage because of his passive shield. So I'd love to see him get a more interactive gameplay. Now, that being said, I would love for him to keep his current Q and his ultimate, because I think those two abilities are the core of Mordekaiser's kit. I think they're both a lot of fun. We can lose the Dragon Force passive. I wasn't a big fan of that, to be perfectly honest, but I would love to see those two abilities stay. His passive E and W, meanwhile, can be 100% changed. I'm not tied to those whatsoever, and I would love to see Riot come up with something else that can really capture Mordekaiser as this undead revenant of death. I think that would be really, really cool, especially once he gets his visual update. Next up, I would love to see Kale and Morgana get updated. Now, I'm cheating a little bit because I only wanted to do my top 3, but we're going to be naming 2 to this one spot, and that's because Reeve did mention that a Kale Morgana dual update would be somewhat likely, and they're very, very similar champions. Now, Kale and Morgana, I don't think have any balance issues currently. I think they both have very healthy kits. I think they have good design niches. I think they fit very well into the game. However, they were in the original 40. They're both starting to show their age. And important to me, at least, is the fact that these two champions don't really fit into the new lore model of League of Legends. They are pretty much 100% divorced from what the direction that Riot's lore team have taken the game in. And so I would love to see them brought in line to how the current Runeterra works and find their own place in the overall story of League of Legends. So nothing kit-wise I want to see them change, but I would like to see them get visual updates, especially because their animations are super static and jerky and their VOs are bad, and I would love to see them get new lore and get fully brought into Runeterra. Finally, my number 3 big pick is Nunu. I did a champ design breakdown on him a few months ago now, and he failed spectacularly because his kit doesn't match his theme at all. When you look at Nunu, you would expect he's supposed to be this Kid-Yeti combo. The Kid and the Yeti working together to take down enemies. But in the game, you barely even notice Nunu himself. You figure Willump is doing literally all of the fighting. And that's a problem, because you don't understand that there's even two champions there. At least with Quinn and Valor and Lamb and Wolf, you can tell that there are two beings there, but you can't almost tell with Nunu at all. So I would love to see his kit change to more of a cooperative playstyle. Make it more obvious that Nunu and Willump are working together instead of the focus just being on Willump. And if you're able to keep his old kit along with it, that would be totally fine. I personally think his kit needs work because it's very uninteractive, and Nunu himself doesn't really feel like he has much to do outside of counter jungling early on in the game. But I would be alright with his kit staying the same, provided that you play up the teamwork aspect of Nunu's character more. He also really needs a new model. He's looking pretty ugly. He is one of the original 40, so I would love to see some kind of visual love thrown Nunu's direction as well. Anyways, those are my top 3. I would love to hear what champions you want to get reworked next. There was a small list released by Reeve, as I mentioned, but whatever champions you're currently thinking, go ahead and let me know in the comments and leave a couple of reasons why you think they need a rework. We might talk on that and discuss that in future videos. If you enjoyed the video today, please go ahead and leave a like. If you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days as well. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you all later.